Hello, hello. So for today's video, I was thinking that I was gonna show you some things that I just got, some like new workout clothes and a couple new shirts for spring, and we just would kind of talk, have a little chit chat. It's sort of like a very hazy, rainy day here in LA, which is rare, and it's just very like cozy vibes. So I thought that I would just do sort of like a cozy vibe video, just some, up close whispers and showing you some clothes that I got and checking in. So recently, I'll show you the first thing. Personally, one of my favorite triggers, I think I might have mentioned this before, is fabric sounds. I just absolutely love fabric sounds. So this is it's like technically supposed to be a workout shirt, but I'm probably gonna wear them more as just like everyday kind of clothing. But I was gonna talk about how recently I was having this conversation with someone on Patreon. Promotional plug. That's the only place where I really will, like answer DMs. I don't answer DMs on Instagram, but if you want to talk to me about random shit, then Patreon's the place to do it. So I was talking to someone on Patreon, and they had just gone to a concert. So they were saying that there was this point during the concert where they got a little emotional because everyone was sort of like vibing together in the audience, singing the lyrics and just being very sort of universally, I guess, sort of experiencing the same emotion of just excitement and happiness and joy. And sometimes that feeling of connectedness with a crowd can make you feel a little bit emotional for a moment. And we were sort of like discussing why that is. And I was saying that I think that, like on a deep level, like fundamentally we all really want to feel connected and a part of something. And I feel like, unfortunately, like a big part of our life is spent feeling disconnected, whether it's from like a specific group of people that we want to fit in with that we don't feel like accept us, or it's with a group of people that technically are our friends, but we have sort of a superficial connection with, and we like strive for a deeper connection that is never really achieved. So generally speaking, most of my life, through middle school and high school, college, adulthood, I think like in my heart of hearts, I've always felt like a little bit of a misfit, and I don't mean that in necessarily a bad way. There's nothing wrong with not really a 100% fitting into any one group. So I think that, some people are lucky in the sense that they have like a tribe, a group of people that they just really vibe with, whereas I'm usually more on like an individual basis. The people that I connect with. So I don't know, I was sort of thinking about all of this because recently I was at a dinner party, and at this particular dinner party there were a lot of people that were from like a higher, I guess, like status level than I'm at. And in terms of just like, we'll just say superficial things like wealth and success. And one-on-one, that's not something that would impact me. But when you're in like an entire room full of people where you feel like you're the one thing in the entire room that is different than everything else in the entire room, then I think like you're more, consciously aware of that one thing that makes you different. And, people that grew up with money just have a very different way of viewing the world and their place in the world than someone that did not. Like I grew up with a single mom, and if something was broken in our house, like it was gonna get fixed with duct tape, and we were not going on, fancy vacations. I would just walk to and from school because she was, working, and that's all part of, what makes me who I am, and I actually like that part of who I am. But it's just kind of like an isolating feeling when you're in a room of people that all grew up with, much more than you, and that's always relative depending on like who you are and who the group is. But just, I was aware that it's kind of an isolating feeling and an uncomfortable feeling to be, make sure I'm not flashing my address, to be in a room where you just feel like everybody in that room has something in common with each other that you don't possess, and might be something you never think about other than the fact when you just so happen to be with that group of people. And it's unfortunate because it seems like, like on a more human level, like there's so many areas, like if I was to sit with any of those people one-on-one, there'd be so many ways in which I could like find a connection that exists. But in large groups, the conversation tends to be like of a more superficial nature, more surface level. And when people are just talking about all their fancy vacations and sort of bragging. That's not really like a conversation that you can jump in on. And I guess, it's just sort of making me think that I wish that more often in life, like, we would have more meaningful conversations with people where we really discussed sort of like what's truly going on inside of our heads. So often getting together with people means, putting on this sort of like social mask and performing. And that's, more of an energy drain than it is a rewarding experience. Like, if you were to see me at one of these, hold on, I'm gonna reach for something. If you were to see me, I'm sure I would appear as though I was having a good time and that I was comfortable in my environment, but having to perform, like I said, and having to wear a mask is exhausting, and there's only so long you can stay in an environment where, like, in your heart of hearts, like, you don't feel comfortable. And maybe that's only something that introverts can relate to. I'm like a extroverted introvert. I have a little bit of both in me, and I do enjoy people, but I also find them very exhausting. And I think that's because, for the most part, generally speaking, it's difficult to connect with people on like a deeper level, even though, ironically, I think so many of us crave that. But I think we're all sort of scared to initiate that. And so we stay on the surface. No one wants to be the one to be the first one to take off their mask. Maybe I'm not making any sense and you have no idea what I'm talking about. Wouldn't be the first time. But I guess, wish that in life, I think it's easy when you're younger to have those types of connections, but I wish that, like, in adulthood, it was easier to have those types of friendships and connections where you can just be so raw, and that you don't feel like you have to put on some front, or I don't know. I guess that's sort of like my goal in life right now, to try to have like deeper connections with people, and to try to be a little more like raw and authentic myself, because I can't expect it of other people if I'm not willing to put myself out there, and just hope that that other people are gonna be the ones to like lead the way. Sometimes we have to be the ones to take the risk. So I guess that's like a risk I'm going to attempt to start taking. Just allowing myself to be more weird in front of people, because I am weird and there's a lot of things about me that I feel, set me apart, and I'm sure most people feel that way deep down. And it just would be nice to show those parts of ourselves to each other and feel accepted, instead of always feeling as though we had to only show like very specific parts of ourselves. I think that's why so many people enjoy, I've never been to one, but I've heard like so many people enjoy going to like those retreats where, you'll team up with people and you just talk about all these sort of like deep things that make you you, and moments that have, defined you throughout your life. And they end up forming these sort of lifelong friendships with the people in the group, because I think everyone's starved for that. But sometimes it takes, like a convention or something like that to force you to do it, because we don't initiate those types of connections on our own. But I think we should try. I think it would be very healing to, and not all the time. I mean, sometimes you're not in the mood to be like super raw and, talk about all your deep shit. I mean, sometimes you just want to like be lighthearted and laugh, but it's nice to know that you like have the option of doing that if you desire. And I think that's, a good feeling when you know that you're in a space where potentially you could say whatever you wanted without fear of judgment. I think it's possible to achieve that. I know I'm kind of rambling, I'm just talking off the top of my head, but I think it's possible to achieve that. I think you just have to get in a place where you're not attached to other people's reactions of what you put out there. I think if we live in fear of what we're going to say might, how it might be perceived, then it can be like a very self-imposed prison. But if you can get to a place where, you give zero fucks, it's very liberating. So I guess that's what I'm striving for. I'm just striving to get to a place where I give zero fucks. Because once you truly are in that space, like, you're so untouchable. Like, if you are truly not impacted by anyone's reaction to you, like, you're unstoppable. To just be 100 110% authentic. And I think there's no better feeling than when we are being like 100% authentic. So I don't know. That's just like my little rambling thought of the day. Maybe it makes sense, maybe it doesn't. I guess I just have to give zero fucks whether or not it makes sense or whether it doesn't. It'll make sense to someone. I'm gonna try one of these outfits on now and just do like a little up close fabric scratching. I just kind of wanted to make this video. Very relaxing and sort of peaceful, and to just speak openly from the heart without thinking at all about what I was gonna say. So, like I said, in conclusion, I think that we should all start trying to just be the most unedited, authentic version of ourselves. And I don't mean that in the sense of being unedited and, like telling people off and, going off on people. I mean it in a sense of being vulnerable and connecting with people. I think that the world would obviously be a much nicer place if we all focused on the ways in which we are the same instead of focusing on the ways in which we are different. I mean, we're all going through this same crazy event that is life. At the same time, on the same planet. Personally, I believe we all come from the same place and we all return to the same place. Alright, this is starting to get really weird and new agey. I'm gonna stop here. I'm gonna put a little outfit on and do like a little fabric scratching, because I know some people like ASMR without talking, and I think I've said more than enough. So here are some leggings leggings. And I think these leggings make really nice sounds. Personally, I've been watching like some ASMR lately. That's just more sound-based and less talking, so I'm gonna shut up now and just kind of make some sounds. Scratch, 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 scratch. Leggings make such nice sounds. Relax, relax, relax. Relax, 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 relax. Just relax. Just relax. You can think about it tomorrow. You don't have to think about it right now. It can all wait until tomorrow. All you need to do right now is just close your eyes.